So today we're talking about things that are like really familiar to us and things that might just be slightly different than what we're used to. Did you ever see a magazine called Highlights Magazine? You ever see one of those, like at a doctor's office or something? You see those? Yeah, kind of a boring magazine, isn't it? But they had these things in there that I always kind of liked to do. So when I would get this magazine, and sometimes they'd even come to my house, I would look for, they were called like hidden pictures, where you had to find things that are hidden in a picture, or sometimes it was spot the difference between two pictures. You know what I'm talking about? Have you ever done those? Yeah, are you good at them? Yeah? Okay. Well, we're going to test that this morning because I'm going to show you one. Alright? So it's going to be on the screen behind us, so we'll have to turn around and take a look. Alright. So, do you see any differences in these pictures? When you see one, holler it out. How is the plate on the right side that's kind of off the screen different? There's a piece of kiwi on the right one that's covering up most of the raspberry, right? And the left one doesn't have that piece of kiwi. Okay, I see that. What else?
The kiwi in the middle doesn't have seeds. See this kiwi doesn't have seeds. The one has seeds.
Oh yeah. Okay, I do see that. There's a strawberry clear on the left side of the bowl, and on the right picture, it's out farther. Okay. What else? This might be harder for folks to see out there, but there's a couple of more that I can see. On the right side, it's mostly green. On the left, it's got some white on the end, right? Yep. Okay. Kiwi on the bottom. There's a kiwi near the top to the right. You see that? One on the left screen, it has seeds. On the right screen, no seeds. You see that? Yeah. Okay. You think we got them all? No? Okay, so the kiwi, that's got to be hard to see from out there. The kiwi at the very top in the right-hand part of the heart, on the left picture is up higher, hanging out of the bowl more. In the right picture it's more down. Okay, that's probably good enough. Maybe there's some others. And we'll leave it up there so people can, drift off and look at that instead of listening. And we'll see if they can spot any others. So those kinds of things they test our brain, don't they? They make us look at things very, very closely. And oftentimes we don't look at things that closely. We just look at something, we go, okay, I know what that is. Like in our own biology, we go, that's not a danger to us, so we don't have to pay that much attention, right? Now, if there was a snake in the yard, I'm going to be watching that thing all the time, even if it's way away from me, because I'm not going to say ever that that's not relevant to me, right? So that's how our brains work. And so that also works that way if we watch a show that we've seen a whole bunch of times, or if we read a book that we've seen a whole bunch of times, or read a whole bunch of times. It shouldn't be any different, right? If we read a story, it shouldn't be any different the first time we read it than the second time we read it. But have you ever watched a movie and then you watch it again and you're like, I never noticed that when I watched that before? Do you ever see something different in a movie that you didn't see before? Yeah, our brains tend to see things a little differently, and that's really good because we discover things that are different and maybe we didn't catch before. And so we learn something new even if we are watching something we've seen before. And that's going to happen today in Scripture, because we're going to read the 23rd Psalm in a minute. And the 23rd Psalm, you may or may not be familiar with it, but it's the one that starts off, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want, right? And so that's a song that we hear all over the place. We hear it all the time. And yet today we're going to have a slightly different version. And the reason that the version is different is because languages don't translate perfectly. Right? They just don't translate perfectly. And so when we look at that, we'll see some things that are a little different. And sometimes it can feel odd to us, like there's something just not quite right about it. And other times it can feel like, oh, I never thought about it that way. And so I'm hoping that both things actually happen to you when you hear the scripture this morning, and for all of us. And it's sort of like spot the difference. Can you spot the difference after reading this? I think that'll be really important for us to do this morning. So we'll pray before you go, and then I'll say thank you for today. God, thank you that you give us scripture, but you give it to us in different ways, so that we might learn something new, that we might see it in a different way, that you might speak to us differently because of it. Lord, do that for us today as we spot the differences. Help us to see things a little bit differently and maybe learn something new about our relationship with you. In your name we pray. Amen. All right, thank you for today. See you next time.